let's go ahead and get to this Eagles-Chargers game, though, on a little Monday night out there in Los Angeles. Jason, you kind of summed up the game by tweeting FML. If you want to tell everybody why you tweeted that.
It was just a frustrating game to watch as an Eagles fan. We just continually kept kicking ourselves in the foot. And I mean, it was, turnovers, penalty down low takes us off the 2-yard line. I mean, it was just one thing after the other. Very frustrating game. It felt like there was more to be had. It did feel like we were starting to click. And then every second we got into the red zone, turnover. Every single time we got a chance to get a touchdown, we get knocked back and kick a field goal. We missed a field goal. I mean, it's just not too much different than the Chiefs game. And it's man, we had our opportunities, more than our opportunities. And we did a lot of really good things in the game against a really good team, against a really good defense. The Chargers defense is one of the better units in the NFL, statistically and personnel-wise. One of my favorite defensive players in the league, and Derwin James over there. Love watching that guy every chance I get to see him play. So, yeah, just a really frustrating game, and it ended in a very frustrating fashion where we're putting together a great drive, playing outstanding ball in overtime, driving the length of the field. Needed to get some momentum back, and unfortunately, a very sloppy game again leaves the Eagles in another week of frustration. And listen, if we take care of business and don't have these mistakes, it's going in a different direction, and we're rolling. So it was a frustrating game.
You mentioned that last turnover that kind of sealed it, but 8 combined turnovers.
Dude, it was nuts.
6 the ball was in butter. Quarter alone.
I don't even know what. It was just a comedy of turnovers all game long for both teams.
There were a lot of what the fuck plays, and Hurts actually became the first player since 1978 with 2 turnovers on the same play, which tells you how rare that shit is when it happens. But 6 in the second quarter alone is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a horrendous game of ball security, which is not. Listen, Jalen, I know the last couple of weeks have been rough for him. This is one of the things he's done well his whole career, is taking care of the football. And it's unfortunately been 2 out of, character or not common games from him and from our team that have really cost us. I mean, this offense has been so stagnant and the 3 and outs, and it's struggled to get anything going the last couple of weeks. This team the defense is great. The defense was phenomenal in this game, outside of the Bears game and maybe one other one against the Giants. They've been great all season. Offensively, they're looking for who they are. It looks like they're looking for that identity, right? And there's so many good pieces, and who are we and what are we going to be about? And throughout Jalen's tenure, and I think what lends itself to the best for this team is, man, we gotta attack the line of scrimmage with one of the best running backs in the game and just repeatedly stick to that, and then take our shots down the field. It doesn't need to be this kind of crazy, outlandish thing. And I know everybody's talking about the scheme and whatnot. There were plays in this game to be had. There were opportunities. Guys were open. Yeah. I thought that, quite frankly, we had a really good game offensively.
I thought you guys did.
Outside
Obviously,
of the
turnovers are crazy.
Yeah.
And
I think that there's some positive things moving forward. First of all, the defense is still playing out of their mind. But listen, if that run game can keep going like that, you got stretch working. You can do a lot of things off a stretch. You got split zone, attacking the line of scrimmage. I know everybody talks about under center versus gun. I really just think about it just build a wall. Get running off the ball and make those guys stop that. In order to stop that, you gotta commit to the line of scrimmage, and then that opens things behind them. And they're a good team as well. Jesse Minter did some things that threw us off on plays here and there. That's going to happen.
Yeah,
I thought it was overall. There's a lot of positive to take away from the game, in a game that looks really negative because of the extremely bad plays that happened. There were some good things, in my opinion, on that tape. I thought the guys ran block better than they have in a while. I thought the tight ends did a pretty darn good job in this game for the most part. And yeah, I mean, uncharacteristic game for Jalen. He cleans that up. Full confidence he will. And the defense keeps playing like this. I know that's a lot of ifs and buts and candies and nuts, but yeah.
I hear you, Coach Kels. Does getting Lane Johnson back soon help? Yes, of course it does. Why is that even a question? Hopefully you guys can get him back. Hopefully Landon's not too banged up. Then he can keep things rolling. I know he got a little banged up and came out for a quick second.
Yeah, I think he had a calf injury. I think that's what it was listed, but he came back in late, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just keep it moving to positivity rabbit. So this has been a thing with the offensive line for a while now?
No, this is the first time it showed up. I thought it was Landon because it feels like Landon's sense of humor. Landon said it wasn't him. I have no idea where this fucking rabbit came from.
There you go. It showed up today, and the offensive lineman stressed to me that they are not sad. They just wanted good vibes, Bunny. This is from Ashley Sullivan. I would assume a reporter out there in the Philly area.
At the end of the week, this positivity rabbit showed up in the locker room. And obviously this is kind of like somebody trying to, it's a lot of negativity in Philadelphia and before the game for an 8-4 team that's first in their division and certainly looking like they're going to be in the playoffs. I think the team was trying to make a statement like, hey, we're all in on this together. We feel like we're still the real deal.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I don't really like the rabbit. I think it's kind of like, it's a little hokey, but listen, if they like it, who the fuck? I don't really give a fuck that much, but you got to go back it up. You go out there and you turn the ball over a bunch and largely you're the reason that you lose the game. Rabbit's got to fucking eat carrots. Get the fuck out of here, Rabbit.
Get the antics out of here. I hear you.
Bad vibe. It didn't work. What did they say about it? So it showed up today and the offensive line stressed to me they are not sad. They just wanted good vibes, Bunny. So you're asking, Brandon, should they ditch the rabbit or double down with more rabbits?
Just put more rabbits in. Which way do you go with this? You're saying get rid of it?
I think they tried it. It didn't work. You got to ditch the rabbit. I mean, the whole thing's got to go.
It's got to go. Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Or do you double down? It's a good question.
Do you put different holiday mascots in there? Do you get a leprechaun? Do you get?
I mean, the more rabbits is funny. I don't know how much you want to joke around about just
at this point, fucking
a season going the wrong direction right now. But
if I'm losing, not winning, we got to get rid of that shit.
That's I honestly, if I'm being very brutally honest, I thought it was a surprise to see the rabbit because I'm like, it's a sign of just like too much like joking around with something that I think is like actually like you should be really fucking pissed off with the way you're playing. And it's okay to be positive, but like, you know, this is something you do when everything's rolling and you're freaking performing well. You don't do antics like this when you've shit the bed for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, we got a Monsters Fun Day football. Is this a Jason Kelsey Monsters Inc.?
It is. This is pretty cool.
What is this?
ESPN does this altcast. There's at least the second year they did it. Last year they did it as Simpsons characters, but they somehow they do it with like AI or some animation program or whatever, but it mimics the game happening. I think Dan Orlovsky and Mina Kimes and I forget who else is on the call, maybe Jeremy Fowler. I don't know, but there's a whole nother like broadcast happening. Yeah. And they did it this year in the Monsters Inc. style. And Swag and I did the pregame show for it.
Nice.
And we were monsters for the pregame show of the altcast. And I mean, I just love the beard.
That's great.
And then look at the eyebrows. They made sure not to
thick as shit. You already know. That's not Jason Kelsey unless you throw some thick ass eyebrows on there.
Dude, this would be fun to just wear this as my outfit though. Just get like a collar with a.
You're insane. That's pretty good though. The Eagles got the Raiders at home next week though.
They do. I know the Raiders had a rough season this year. Obviously, they've already fired Chip Kelly, offensive coordinator. Hasn't gone their way, but it's still the NFL, man. Any team can win any given Sunday, and the Eagles need to get some momentum going. They have to go out there and perform.
Yeah.
I really feel strongly they need to figure out what the identity is that they want to do. And I think they were closer to doing that this last week. I think when something's working, I would love to see them just continue to press that. You know what I mean? It feels like a lot of the times they do something that works and then they're on to the next thing that they went into the game wanting to do. It's like, hold on. Hey, if we're doing this really good, if Saquon's rolling with these types of plays, make them defend that. If they can't show that they can defend that, bro, keep taking it. Some of the spread things are interesting. I thought they adjusted well with empty where, when they do those like zero, they know you're in 5-man protection. So they just read the guards, make you hot, and then you got to get rid of the ball. If you want to live in empty, you need to move the back around a lot. Put the back in the backfield, motion them out. Put the back in the
for a moment. A quiet school morning, the smell of photocopied permission slips still warm, and a signature at the bottom that looks just convincing enough to pass the gatekeepers of authority. This is not a crime thriller, but a confession, and today on Taylor Swift Decoded, we're diving into a story that proves rebellion often starts with a pen, a heartbeat of courage, and a teenager who thinks rules are merely polite suggestions. The tale begins with an innocent question from a mother in Minnesota, wondering whether forging a parent's signature is some kind of universal teenage rite of passage. Almost instantly, the answer explodes into a cascade of memories, and Travis Kelce steps forward like a grinning narrator, admitting he forged his parents' signature so many times that the ink itself might still be tired. If you're enjoying this already, make sure you like the video, because stories like this deserve to travel. One moment, however, towers above the rest like a myth whispered through locker rooms. A young Travis, barely 13, standing 6 feet tall, deciding to forge his way into an Atlanta Braves showcase in Ohio. The paper demanded adulthood or parental approval, and he offered neither, just a confidently written surname and an address copied from memory. Fate, impressed by the audacity, opened the gate anyway, and suddenly this child was hurling fastballs in the mid-80s, confusing scouts who couldn't decide whether to applaud or call someone's dad. Reality, of course, always arrives eventually. A scout from Cleveland Heights recognized the name, questions followed, and soon Big Ed was on the phone, delivering a warning that thundered louder than any fastball. It was the end of that particular rebellion, but not the end of the legend. If you're smiling at this point, share the video with someone who definitely forged a signature once and never got caught. The confessions don't stop there. Report cards were quietly signed, consequences postponed, truth delayed like a song skipped until the chorus. Meanwhile, Jason Kelce chose a different path, attempting not to forge ink but voice, calling the school and impersonating his own father with confidence that collapsed the moment a familiar adult recognized him. The deception crumbled, the phone call ended, and the reckoning arrived swiftly. And here's the twist that makes this story sing. These moments of teenage mischief feel oddly familiar because they mirror the themes we decode so often in Taylor Swift's world. Youthful defiance, bold choices, mistakes that shape destiny, and the strange magic of believing you can outrun consequence just long enough to taste freedom. If you want more stories decoded with this same spark, subscribe now, because sometimes the smallest signatures leave the biggest marks.